When I imported this into my other computer, I realized that it didn't actually take the settings of the tempo or the time signature. Remember, it should have imported in 4/4 time at 120 beats per minute. And you can clearly see in my BandLab project here that this imported at 105 beats per minute. So I want to change that. I'm going to go back to 120 beats per minute, and I'm also going to put it in 4/4 time. If yours imported in 4/4, no worries, you're fine. But if it imported in 2/4, you're definitely going to want to change it to 4. That is because the chart that we have here that we're going to be referencing our chords from has measure numbers, and those measure numbers won't line up unless you're in 4/4 time. So make sure those things are correct. You also might want to take a moment and print this out if you have the capability. Otherwise, keep this tab open so that you can reference it for the chords. Now, the next thing we have to do is split this in half. Jingle Bells opens with a verse. The dashing through the snow part. That's the verse. The next part of it is the Jingle Bells part. That's the chorus. So we're going to highlight the whole thing, put the cursor at measure 9, and we're going to use the S key to split it. Now I have a verse and the chorus. For your project, you're going to have the verse and the chorus, and then the verse and the chorus again. So you'll have 2 cycles of this 16-bar piece up here. You're also going to need an introduction and some kind of a little breakdown in the middle. You get to choose where that goes. But since we've made some progress already, it's time to save this so we don't lose any data. Okay, on to finding a cool beat. This is up to you. You've done this before. We're going to go into loops and find something interesting that we can set to Jingle Bells. So I'm going to do a little looking, and you should too. Go ahead and pause the video and find some good drum lines that work. Okay, I've done it. After a bunch of browsing in the loops library, I found mid-tempo electronica beats that I like. Remember, you're going to look for this word beats, and you don't have to use mid-tempo electronica. You can use whatever you want, but you do want to make sure that it is a drum beat. So look for this key word so that when you listen back to it, it only sounds like a drum set. So no bass and no chords in here. I've picked this for my first section. And then I picked this for my second section for the chorus. So all I need to do now is bring these out so that I have a different section of drums for each part. Now, of course, the piano sound doesn't really go with my drums. So I'm going to change that sound. So that's next. Go into Instrument and go and find something that's going to really work with these funky drums that you've discovered. Maybe something under synth leads or a different synth of some kind. After a little browsing, I settled on this Berlin lead out of the Synth Leads pack. And I also thought a little delay would be a good idea. And I cranked up the reverb somewhat. So here's what the chorus sounds like. So go ahead and find a sound for your lead, for your melody, and if you think it needs some effects, pop some effects on there. Then go on to part 3.